consent calendar. All items are considered routine or implement an earlier council action and may be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion unless requested. Anything on consent?
I'd like to pull 7F.
7F, okay.
I'd like to pull 7D.
D, okay. Action on the remainder.
Move to approve the remainder.
Second.
Motion and second on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 7D, adopt a resolution accepting the tank number 3 Glenview replacement project as complete, authorizing the filing of a notice of completion with the San Mateo County Recorder's Office, and authorizing release of the construction contract retention in the amount of $222,483. Rico.
And the only reason to pull this was to note that this project was complete and under budget. So I want to thank staff and for all the hard work. Obviously, we always look at one side of it, but we also are appreciative, too, for the hard work in getting it under budget on time. Thank you. With that, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve item 7D. All in favor?
Aye.
7F is adopt a resolution approving expenditures of $95,133 to complete the residual control system and tank mixer water equipment purchase, and authorizing an additional appropriation of $62,133 from the water fund. Marty?
Yes, so I pulled this because I believe a little bit more detail regarding this action is warranted. Being that this information was transmitted in a closed session, I have to be very careful what I can actually talk about. But I wanted to ask our city manager to comment a little bit on what you can say and how this is an important thing that happened. And the additional information will explain why, and then I'll finish up with one comment after.
So there is a brief staff report that I will provide the outline of the issue and then make an additional comment. The issue in front of the City Council is authorization for an expenditure in the total amount of $240,000. Sorry, I should have it in front of me. $246,000 for a project associated with the procurement of equipment to service our water tanks, essentially to mix and allow some amount of action within those tanks so that the water is kept fresh and able to be used when needed. There was a City Council action in September of 2015 that authorized a $181,000 expenditure for that equipment. The equipment was ordered, it was installed, and it is both necessary and currently in operation. The issue before you tonight is the over authorization amount of $62,000, which both exceeded the budget as well as the City Council's $181,000 expenditure authority. As the City Council is aware and is outlined in the report, there has been a detailed analysis of the cost of the equipment, the appropriateness of the invoices, the necessity and the appropriate receipt and installation of the equipment, and we're recommending to you tonight that all of those things line up to identify that the amount due to the vendor is in fact $246,000, and we're recommending your authorization to pay the additional amount above the expenditure that you had previously authorized. I would simply add that this is a good situation to demonstrate the effectiveness of the city's purchasing policies that includes the multiple levels of authorization for approval of expenditures up to and including that of the City Council. It's also, given the fact that the cost of these items exceeded that which was authorized by the City Council, for us to evaluate the procedures and to ensure that our employees are not only well informed, but are properly adhering to those policies and procedures. And that completes my comments.
No, thank you very much. Yeah, that's it.
Through the
Okay.
chair, on this item.
There you go.
I spoke to the city manager today and was going to vote no, but in essence, that wouldn't be fair to the vendor. Vendor did nothing wrong. We need to honor the invoice and, of course, the vendor relationships. I appreciate the manager's comments, and that would be my question going forward, the process and policy and the appropriate authorization methods. How will that be determined and when that will come back so that we know that going forward, an item like this may not appear before us?
So that process is ongoing, and I'd be happy to provide information to the City Council at a little later point when we are have more information to report to you.
Thank you.
Action on item F.
Move to approve?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?